All right, everybody, welcome back to Nerdcore. My name's Kelly,
I'm Rachel.
and tonight's movie we're going to be reviewing is The Ritual, a 2017 UK horror film starring Raphael Spell, Archer Ali, Robert James-Collier, and Sam Troughton. Also directed by David Bruckner. The movie made about 1.3 to like 1.6 million dollars in the theater over in the UK, and it was bought by Netflix and released as its own Netflix original movie. So let's take it. Go ahead and take it over.
I mean, I feel like I don't want to get too deep into this review since it's still somewhat of a new movie, and I know a lot of people haven't seen it. I mean, it's a UK flick. It came out in the UK. It didn't come out in the theaters in the US. It's also a Netflix movie. You know, a lot of people have their preferences on Netflix of what they watch. So I just feel like a lot of people haven't given it an opportunity. But it's also, I wouldn't say it's at the top of my list of favorite movies, but it's very memorable in my movie list, I guess you could say. I've only seen it twice. The first time I want to say when it was released on Netflix, maybe in 2018. And then Kelly also saw it once before. And I mean, we watched it the other night together. I mean, we both agreed like wanting to do this review on that movie because it's such a good movie. It's the storyline, the way it continues to build its way up, where it just gets more and more intensified as it goes on in this forest that they, decide to take a shortcut in, like the traditional horror movie flicks that you should not go into that forest. How about that? Like, but we're gonna, it's just like,
Yeah, it's
why?
it's like as soon these four friends go hiking. That's called the King's Trail over in Sweden. And what ends up happening is one of them hurts his leg, and they need to find a quicker way to get to the lodge that they're trying to get to. And so the leader, I guess, of the pack was like, "Oh, let's cut through this forest, straight south.
Take a couple hours off, but it's a whole ass forest. Like it's thick, trees are huge, like." It's dark.
It's not a very welcoming forest.
No,
let's
it's not.
Just put it that way. And what ends up happening is they get into some trouble. They find
from the start.
They find this house. They stay in at the night. They have nightmares of something, and from there it just builds up.
It builds up. It continues to progress, like especially after I believe leaving that house. It's just like everything just continues to go wrong. And I mean, they're obviously trying to make their way out, and they end up leaving the path that they're supposed to go towards to get out, because they decide to follow a trail that they think, it's a trail, it's gonna lead somewhere. And instead of just continuing on with the what is it called? I can't think. Oh my goodness.
The journey?
The journey. No, the little scope.
The compass.
The compass. Oh my goodness, yes. I couldn't even think of that. The compass. Instead of following the compass that they should be doing, they decide to follow a random trail that they have no idea where it's going, because they have no idea what the forest has in store.
Right. And so the storyline itself is, it opens with these five friends in a pub, okay, and they're trying to figure out where they're gonna go next. On one of their big trips, and one of them states, "Hey, suggests, like, let's go on a hike. Let's do the King's Trail in Sweden." And everyone's like, "Yeah, no, I want to go and I want to party. I don't want to go."
Well, they're all a bunch of older married men already, so like they're not like camping, hiking. Like, why don't we just go do something easy?
Let's do something easy. We want to go on this vacation because we want to get away. We don't want to have to work and hike and move and everything. And so what ends up happening is the main character and that friend who suggested that trip go into a liquor store. And
don't get into details on it too much.
And so
one of them only comes out.
Basically. One of them comes out.
We don't want to ruin it just because it's still a very new movie. Not too many spoilers, but I mean, yes, one friend ends up not making it out of that liquor store, and so they decide to do this trail for him in remembrance
his memory.
And like I said, everything continues just to go wrong as they continue on into deeper and deeper into this forest,
Right.
where they start seeing things, they start hearing things, and tragedy starts hitting this
Right.
group of friends that they're getting basically picked off one by one.
And another thing that I thought was really cool was when I first saw the movie is I didn't know what to expect, because like I heard about it, I sat there and kind of pondered the movie, like I don't know, like I saw it on Netflix for like a year before I even decided to watch it, and I was like, ooh, this looks interesting, and just never took the time out to watch it, never looked anything up on it, just kind of was like, and then one night I was just like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna watch it. And I was pleasantly surprised, because not only pleasantly but genuinely surprised as well, because the antagonist or the antagonists are not what you would expect. It goes deep into a Scandinavian folklore and Scandinavian legends and
Norse mythology,
even the Norse mythology. And so it was to me it was a very welcome kind of change of pace. I guess that was on me though, because I didn't look anything up for it beforehand. I wasn't like,
but I feel like that was a good thing, because like
Yeah.
you got to watch it and you weren't already knowing what was going on and what might happen. But I mean, I feel like the same way. I probably saw it on there for like maybe a few months. I was probably still binge watching The Office for like the 10th time. But I mean, it was probably one of those nights where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give The Office a break and I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm happy I did, because it was just a great movie.
Yeah, it's also an extremely slow burn. It's only about an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes long, but because it's such a slow burn with the horror aspect of it, and how it gradually kind of turns few of the guys like mad, pretty much.
Yeah, and then they start turning against each other, like always.
Against each other, and someone wants to leave, and someone wants to do this, someone wants to do that, and
somebody wants to go that way, but no, we should go this way.
Right.
Of course, like I mean, that's what makes a horror flick,
And what looking at it, watching it this time, you know, it's always good to watch something, especially if you like it, like if you want to kind of catch more details or catch more things that you missed the first time. Like, this is one of those movies to watch.
And I feel like you definitely have to watch it even more than 2 or 3 times, because the first time I watched it, I didn't catch anything besides what I was paying attention to in the movie. Then when we watched it the second time around is when we started noticing and pointing out, hey, wait, that remember that? And we're like, oh my God, that's right. Like it was, and I'm sure like if we watch it again, like we will definitely probably pick up other stuff that we didn't pick up the second time around. But I mean, it's definitely a must-see movie. Like the effect on it, the whole creature aspect, which it's also the bastard son of Loki. So if people are familiar with, you know, the Marvel movies and all that, in the comics of Loki, like, you know, it's one of his children that he reproduced many of. So I mean, it's
Loki in Norse mythology, he was a pretty he wasn't picky.
He was promiscuous.
He wasn't picky. He had a lot of fun. In many forms. And
this is one of those creatures.
This is one of those creatures that came about.
And we don't want to get into detail on like the creature, because it's definitely you don't see it until towards the end of the flick fully.
You see
bits and pieces.
See little, and this is what I really liked, is just you saw very little of it, and it wasn't shoved in your face. Like it wasn't like the first time you see it was like 20 minutes into the movie, and it was like, okay, I know how it looks. Like you're left kind of wondering, like, what could it be? What could it be? What could it be?
What's doing this to these people and animals or whatever?
And you get a sense of it because of how they use sound throughout the movie. You can hear it walking, and it's big, so you're like, oh, okay, it's gonna be like a Bigfoot thing, or like a bear, or a giant bear-like creature, but no, it turns out to be something that way out of left field.
It doesn't. I do want to hopefully show a silhouette of it, and it doesn't even give it the detail of what this creature actually looks like. It's just a silhouette of the outside, but until you actually see it face to face in your face, like that's when you're like, wait, whoa, what the hell is that? So I mean, it's like, it's definitely like it's worth the wait for sure.
Yeah.
Because like if you definitely if you would have saw it in the beginning, like it wouldn't have been so intense.
It gets rid of that mystery and kind of the horror and the fear aspect. Because sometimes what you fear most is what you don't see.
Exactly.
Which is why I'm going to bring it up again. The Silent Hill games were so affected so many people because a lot of what they did with that video game was like it was what you didn't see that really affected you, not what you were fighting and what you saw and all that stuff. So
and this creature does feed off of fear and what you're scared of most too. So I mean that is the aspect of not being able to see what it is in front of you.
It feeds on guilt, or like it uses it as like a means to like subjugate you and kind of incapacitate you. And then I'm not going to get into it, but there's a reason why it does it. Why it does it to certain people as
only
well.
Certain people, and the other ones that he just picks off one by one, gets rid of.
So
just for fun too. It's just for fun.
It's crazy. There's and that's something that I didn't really pick up on the first time I watched it. Was you were seeing, I guess, hallucinations or manifestations of what happened in the beginning of the movie. While this person is out in the forest, and you don't understand. To me, I didn't understand like why it was shown. I was just like, why does this keep showing up? And then you watch it a second time and even a third time probably, and you'll start getting it like, oh, it's not just because of this, or it's not just because he's hallucinating or whatever. Like there's a reason for it. And so that was an insane movie. Like I loved it. The slow burn, the reveal, the actual acting between the four guys was very well done. I thought all the actors did really well.
They did. I mean, it's definitely not actors that us in the US know. And I feel like too, that's why a lot of people, like when they saw that it's a UK film, it's a foreign film, like they were like, I don't know who any of those people are. And I mean, I get it. Like I've been there, but I mean, sometimes you just got to branch out and say, you know what, let me see how this movie is. Like a lot of foreign films are amazingly made. The
really
storyline, Japanese horror flicks are amazing. Like I love them. Like they just go above and beyond with their movies.
Right.
And I mean, it's just like, you should give it a chance. Like if you love movies, if you love, like, don't just think, oh, I only watch actors that are from here or movies that are from here. Like branch out and watch a foreign flick. Like,
get out there.
It's really good. Like, but I mean, yes, definitely a must see. Like I said, we didn't want to get into full detail on everything because it would kind of, I'm not going to say it would completely ruin it. But it would take away from what we got to feel when we first watched it.
And it's a newer, like I said, or like Rachel said earlier, it is a newer film. I mean, yes, it's 2017. If you haven't watched it, just go watch it.
Who doesn't have Netflix or borrow somebody's Netflix account, you know? I mean, like, seriously, like, just watch it, give it a chance. Like, if you don't like it, you don't like it. I mean, you're not meant to like every movie you watch.
It's an hour and a half.
It does seem longer than an hour and a half, though.
It does seem
it
longer
seems like
than
about
an hour
like
and a half. And it's it'll take you away from endlessly scrolling on Instagram for
but this definitely is a movie you do have to pay attention to, because
sit and watch it.
You can't just have it as background noise because you're never going to understand what's going on. You're going to miss a lot of pieces to the puzzle.
You will.
So, but yes, that is our review for today. Please subscribe if you haven't. Give us some views, some shares. We would love and appreciate that very much.
Yes, please subscribe, like the video, support us. Here at Nerdcore. You can also catch me at twitch.tv/KTheBerserker. I'll be doing Hunt, and every like 2 years or so I'll be doing like a single player game. Yes, this is the boss, Mr. Scrapbeak. That's the new boss that was introduced last year, and he is freaking amazing. Probably one of like the coolest designed bosses I think I've ever seen. But yeah, so come on down, watch The Ritual, and enjoy yourself.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.